And
snap.
Historically, if we look at all of the last 10,000 years, it's a very small number of elites who own absolutely everything and a very large number of serfs and peasants who have a subsistence living.
If the elites are too greedy and they freeze out the peasants at too high a level and they try to use brutality
Pitchforks.
Eventually it comes back to haunt them. And so what you get is a recognition that you need a system that does balance these things. And, the West has the best system that we've ever seen. It's one in which we agree on a level playing field. We never achieve it, but we agree that it's a desirable thing. And the closer we get to it, the more wealth we create. But again, if AI empowers those with ill intent at a higher rate than it empowers those who are wealth creating and pro-social, we may be in for a massive regression in how fair the market that the West
is that your top concern versus economic displacement? And
I think they're the same thing.
How are they the same thing?
Because the economic displacement is going to start. I don't know how many million people are going to be displaced from their jobs in the U.S. Suddenly we're going to have a question about whether or not we have obligations to them.
You agree with that, don't you?
Yes, but again, it's the no pain, no gain. I mean, we're going to go through a period of disruption, and I think at the other end, the old, sort of oppressive systems will be broken, and we're going to create perhaps a fair world, but it's going to have its own problems.
And what's the scale of that disruption in your estimation?
It's hard to say because there's this concept of limiting factors. Like there is regulation. There's the appetite of people to take. For example, the healthcare system is very resistant to innovation because of regulation. And that's a bad thing.
On the regulation point, it's worth saying that when Trump came into power, he signed in a new law, which is called Removing Barriers to American Leadership in AI, which revokes previous AI policies that were deemed to be restrictive. Mm-hmm. And obviously, when you think about where the funding is going in AI, it's going to two places. It's going to America, and it's basically going to China. That's the vast majority of investment. So with those two in competition, any regulation that restricts AI in any way is actually self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. And this is, I live in Europe some of the time. And it's already annoying to me that when Sam Altman and OpenAI released the O3 model, this new incredible model, it's not in Europe because Europe has a regulation which prevents it from coming to Europe. So we're now at a competitive disadvantage, which Sam Altman's spoken about. And more broadly on this point of disruption, I was quite unnerved when I heard that Sam Altman's other startup was called WorldCoin. And WorldCoin was conceived with the goal of facilitating universal basic income, i.e. helping to create a system where people who don't have money are given money by the government just for being alive to help them cover their basic food and housing needs, which suggests to me that the guy that has built the biggest AI company in the world can see something that a lot of us can't see, which is there's going to be a system to just hand out money to people because they're not going to be able to survive otherwise.
I disagree. I fundamentally disagree with that.
Which part do you disagree with?
I disagree that, first of all, that humans would be happy with UBI. I think that, a core value of humans, and be curious about the evolutionary reasons, is we want to be useful.